My neighbor's teen daughter made TikToks mocking my wife's accent. They called her mail order. One day, they posted a video of my wife watering plants with the caption, "Import watering her fake flowers." It got 400K views. My wife cried for hours. I said nothing. I contacted a digital rights lawyer. We filed for takedown and identity misuse. Then we sent a cease and desist. But that wasn't it. I found the girls' scholarship applications. All of them. I sent the TikTok links with a note. Behavioral red flags. A month later, she posted a new video. Crying. Caption: I lost everything. My name's Dan. I'm 46, live in a small suburb outside Cedarburg, Wisconsin. It's a quiet town with good people, mostly. I work in logistics. My wife, Lean, is from Vietnam. We've been married 5 years. She's the sweetest person you'll ever meet. Never says anything bad about anyone, even when they deserve it. Her English is decent, but she speaks with a thick accent. She's still learning. She goes to ESL classes twice a week and practices with me every night. It's been hard for her, coming to a new country, starting over. But she tries. When we moved into this house 3 years ago, we thought we'd found peace. The neighborhood seemed safe. Our neighbors mostly kept to themselves, which we liked. One family stood out, though, the McMillans. Big house, white picket fence, all the surface-level charm. Parents are the type that talk loud in the front yard but go quiet when you walk by. They've got 2 kids, an older son away at college, and their daughter Alyssa, 17, still in high school. Alyssa's the kind of girl who lives online. Ring light in the bedroom window. Always filming herself or her friends. At first, I didn't think anything of it. Teenagers do weird stuff. But then I started noticing things. The snickering when Lean said hello. The whispered jokes. One time I saw Alyssa take a quick video from behind the blinds while Lean was planting flowers. I didn't think it meant anything then. I was wrong. One night about 6 months ago, Lean came to me with tears down her face. She was holding her phone like it had burned her. She showed me a TikTok. It was her. Standing in our backyard. She had her pink watering can, the one she uses for the roses. The caption on the video was, "Import watering her fake flowers." In the background you could hear giggling. Then a voice dubbed over with a heavy fake Asian accent saying, "Me no understand garden." Then laughter. The video had over 400,000 views. Lean was humiliated. She didn't even understand half of the comments but could tell they weren't kind. One said, "Mail order bride tending the lawn she doesn't own." Another, "Return to sender." I didn't know what to say. I held her while she cried for almost an hour. Later that night, she locked herself in the bathroom and didn't come out until morning. I didn't sleep. I watched the video again. Then I found Alyssa's TikTok page. It was full of videos of Lean. Most were clips from our own yard, recorded from their upstairs window or over the fence. One showed Lean asking a cashier at the grocery store how to say oregano. The caption said, "Mail order bride discovering white people herbs." Another one was filmed from their front porch. It caught Lean and me on our deck practicing a job interview. She was trying so hard to get a part-time job at the local flower shop. They'd edited it with subtitles saying, "She thinks they'll hire her to scrub toilets." That one had almost 200,000 views. People were tagging their friends, laughing, using clown emojis. I wanted to walk over there and tear that girl's phone out of her hands. But I didn't. I couldn't make a scene, not with Lean already so shaken. So I did something else. I contacted a digital rights lawyer I found online. She had experience with online harassment and video misuse. We sent her the links. She told me this was serious. We had a case for identity misuse, privacy invasion, and potentially defamation. We filed DMCA takedown notices for every video where Lean appeared. Then we drafted a cease and desist letter. A real one, signed by a firm in Milwaukee. We sent it to the Macmillans by certified mail. They got it. I watched Mr. Macmillan read the letter on their porch. He looked up, then walked inside without saying a word. For a few days, everything was quiet. Alyssa made a video pretending to cry, saying something like, "Guess you can't film your own backyard now." People in the comments were on her side. I didn't care. The videos were down. That was all that mattered. But I couldn't let it go. I kept thinking about how Lean had cried. How she started double-checking her pronunciation before speaking in public. How she stopped going outside at all. She was scared of being laughed at again. That's when I found Alyssa's professional website. She had a personal site linked in her TikTok bio. It had her resume, school projects, volunteer hours, and something that caught my attention: copies of her college and scholarship essays. She posted them proudly, probably hoping to impress some admissions officer who'd Google her. She wanted to major in journalism. Said her dream was to amplify unheard voices and make a difference with storytelling. That made me sick. I downloaded all of it. Every single file. Then I went digging for the scholarship programs she was applying to. Some were listed directly on her site. Others I found by searching her name with scholarship and application essay. It took 3 nights, but I made a list of 10 programs. All of them national or statewide, some private, some tied to media or diversity initiatives. Then I got to work. I created a new email. Nothing shady, just a basic Gmail account with a neutral name. From there, I started sending emails. Each one said the same thing. To whom it may concern, I believe the applicant may have engaged in recent online behavior inconsistent with your program's values. Please see the attached examples for reference. These may indicate behavioral red flags. Concerned resident, I attached screenshots from the TikToks. Included timestamps. Sent links to archived versions, just in case she tried deleting them, which she did. Most didn't respond. A couple sent automated replies. One thanked me for bringing it to their attention and said they'd review it internally. A week later, Alyssa's site went down. Her Instagram went private. TikTok gone. A month after that, she posted a single video to a new account. No filters. No makeup. She was crying hard. The caption said, "I lost everything." No sound. No comments. Just her crying. I watched it once. Saved it. Then closed the app. She never mentioned Lean. Never apologized. But I knew. I knew what had happened. The best part? We still live next door. They still park 2 feet from our driveway. Their porch lights still flicker at night. But now, when they see us, they go silent. No more smirking. No more giggles. Just silence. Lean is healing. Slowly. She smiles more now. She planted new flowers this spring. Same pink watering can. She doesn't know everything I did. She just knows the videos stopped. About 2 weeks after Alyssa posted the crying video, things in the neighborhood started to shift. It was quiet for a while, until it wasn't. One morning, I was drinking coffee on the porch when I noticed something taped to our mailbox. At first, I thought it was a flyer. But when I grabbed it, I realized it was a printed photo. A blurry still from one of Alyssa's old videos, the one where Lean was practicing her job interview with me on the deck. Someone had written across it in red marker, "Sore losers spy on kids. Maybe you should be deported." My heart dropped. I looked around. No one in sight. Just the usual hum of lawnmowers and wind chimes. I tore the paper up and threw it in the trash, but I didn't tell Lean. She'd already been through too much. I didn't want her looking over her shoulder every time she stepped outside. But the next day, another note came. This time it was stuck to our garage door with duct tape. It said, "She married you for papers. You're not a victim. You're a joke." That's when I knew this wasn't over. I installed security cameras that same night. Bought the best I could afford. I set them up around the house, driveway, back porch, front door. I didn't care if the neighbors noticed. In fact, I wanted them to see. Then, 3 nights later, the cameras paid off. I was reviewing the feed after hearing something weird, like a metal bang, outside the garage. I rewound the footage and there she was. Alyssa. Hoodie pulled over her head, but it was her. She walked up our driveway, looked straight into the garage window, and stuck another note to the door. This one was shorter. "We know what you did. We'll make her leave." I downloaded the footage, made copies, and printed stills. The next morning, I drove straight to the police station. The officer behind the desk didn't look too thrilled at first. But once I showed him the footage and the notes, his face changed. They opened a harassment report. Promised to speak to the McMillans. That night, a squad car showed up at their house. I didn't watch from the window. I didn't need to. About 20 minutes later, I heard yelling through the walls. Mr. McMillan's voice was loud, angry. Alyssa's voice cracked. She was crying again. But she still didn't stop. Next came the online accounts. Fake ones. Lean started getting spammed with messages on Facebook and Instagram. Weird usernames. Some said things like China virus, even though she's Vietnamese, or get out import. She blocked one, and 3 more popped up. Someone reported her LinkedIn for fake identity. It got taken down for 2 days. This wasn't just teenage bullying anymore. It was calculated. So I went back to the lawyer. She helped us trace the IPs. We documented everything. Turns out at least 3 of the accounts harassing Lean were tied to the same IP. Guess whose? The McMillans. Lean didn't want to escalate. She was scared it would make things worse. But I wasn't scared anymore. We filed a second complaint, this time for targeted harassment and cyberstalking. The McMillans got served papers. We never saw Alyssa leave her house after that. Not once. Her car sat in the driveway untouched for days. Word must have gotten out, because people started whispering. I saw Mrs. McMillan at the grocery store, and she looked through me like I wasn't there. Then one morning, I noticed a moving truck in front of their house. They didn't make a big show of it. No goodbye barbecue. No waves to the neighbors. They just left. Lean stood next to me on the porch that day, holding my hand. She said, "I didn't want them to suffer. I just wanted them to stop." I didn't say anything. I just watched the truck pull away and disappear down the street. They were gone. But I had a feeling this story still wasn't finished. They were gone. House empty. Curtains drawn. For the first time in months, we could breathe. Or so we thought. 2 weeks passed, and things were calm. Lean started going back out again. She rejoined her ESL class. Even made a new friend there, a kind older woman named Anna from Honduras. They started walking together at the park every Saturday morning. It felt like the page had turned. Then a letter came. Not an email. Not a note on the door. A real letter, in an envelope, addressed by hand. There was no return address. Inside was a single page. Typed. It read, "You messed with the wrong family. You think you won? We know what you did to Alyssa. We have friends too. You think your job is safe? Maybe check who's watching." That was it. No signature. Just those words. I reported it to the police again. They opened a file, but said unless there was a direct threat or clear source, their hands were tied. Still, I wasn't about to let this slide. I knew that tone. This wasn't over for them. It was a warning. 3 days later, I found out what they meant. I was called into HR at my company. I've worked there 12 years. No write-ups. No issues. But now I was sitting in a room with 2 managers and a compliance officer. They said someone had filed an anonymous ethics complaint against me. Said I used company resources to stalk and harass a minor. That I was involved in revenge tactics, and that my behavior may reflect poorly on company reputation. They didn't show me the complaint, but I could tell it was detailed. Someone had done their homework. I explained everything. Brought printed copies of the police reports. Even showed the lawyer's cease and desist and takedown requests. They said they believed me, but they still had to investigate. For 2 weeks, I was put on leave. Unpaid. Lean blamed herself. I could see it on her face. She stopped going to the park. Stopped smiling again. I didn't care about the money. I cared about the message. They were still trying to punish us. Even after moving away. I started digging again. This time, I went deeper into the McMillan's trail. Found out where they moved, Madison, Wisconsin. Alyssa had transferred to a new school. Smaller, more expensive. Private. I even found out that she was trying to rebuild her image online under a new name at Ali Marie Writes. She was rebranding. Blogging about cancel culture, and how one mistake ruined her life. The comments were full of people saying, "You're so brave, stay strong, and they can't silence your truth." She had a new following. Smaller, but loyal. So I read every word she wrote. In one post, she said she was now working on a personal college admissions essay about being harassed by immigrants who twisted her videos to get sympathy. She flipped the story. Painted herself as the victim of us. Claimed she'd been intimidated by a middle-aged man who used legal loopholes to destroy her life because she was just a kid having fun. That post had over 50,000 views. I was stunned. But something else caught my eye. In the corner of the blog page, there was a badge, sponsored by the Johnson Media Foundation. It was a journalism outreach nonprofit. I clicked through. They offered fellowships and scholarship money for rising voices in media. And guess what? They had an open application page. I downloaded the form. Then I got to work. I stared at that application form for hours. Something in me wanted to just let it go. Move on. I'd already done enough, right? But then I remembered my wife crying in our bedroom. I remembered her shaking when she tried to order coffee and the barista laughed at her accent. I remembered Alyssa's smug face behind her phone, filming like we were a circus act. No. This wasn't over. She was rebuilding, sure. But not from scratch. She had help. Money. A whole platform again. And now she was rewriting the story like she was the one who got ambushed. I downloaded every blog post from her news site. I took screenshots of her TikToks. Yes, she had started posting again under a new name. She never used Lean's face anymore, but her story was the same. A young girl targeted for speaking her truth. I saved it all. Then I wrote a letter. It wasn't from a burner email this time. It was from me. With my name. My address. I attached every document I had. The police reports. The IP trace results. Cease and desist copy. Even the messages sent to my wife's account from the same household. And I sent it all to the Johnson Media Foundation board. Subject line. Fellowship candidate misrepresented background, harassment history included. They didn't reply. But 2 weeks later, Alyssa's blog went offline. Her new TikTok? Deleted. The foundation released a vague statement on their website. We take all claims seriously and have reevaluated a recent candidate's application materials. That individual will not be moving forward in our program. I figured that was the end of it. But there was one more turn I didn't expect. 3 days after that announcement, I got a call. From my company. The ethics complaint had been closed. They found no wrongdoing. I was reinstated immediately, with back pay. But the voice on the phone, my manager, lowered his tone near the end and said, "Dan, just so you know, that complaint came from someone claiming to be a parent of a bullied student. Not just anonymous." He paused. Then added, "We get it now. You don't owe anyone an explanation." Still, I couldn't let go of the last thread. I dug back through the scholarship portals I'd sent the original TikTok clips to, back when this first started. One of them had updated its finalist list. Alyssa's name was missing. Instead, a new name was added last minute. Someone from Lean's ESL group. Anna's daughter. Lean cried when she found out. Happy tears this time. I never wanted revenge, she told me. I did. But here's the truth. I made mistakes too. I got too obsessed. I crossed lines. I went beyond stopping her. I destroyed her. And sometimes, late at night, I ask myself, was it worth it? Then I hear Lean laughing in the next room. Talking to Anna on the phone. Planning a garden. She's not scared anymore. So yeah? It was worth it. Because they didn't just mock an accent. They mocked a whole person. They turned kindness into a joke. And in the end, I didn't have to raise my voice. I just had to show who they really were. And let the world do the rest. That's how you end a story like this. Quiet. But final.